Welcome to my first video of my monthly gaming recap series, where I document my progress through my ever-growing backlog. Each month, I'll be sharing the games I've played, completed, or made progress in, along with my thoughts, highlights, and any standout experiences I have. Let me know what you think, and if you're tackling your own backlog, I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. The first title I played in July is Bravely Default Remaster for the Switch 2. So as a launch title for the Switch 2, the remaster of Bravely Default, originally on the 3DS, immediately caught my attention, and within a couple days of picking it up, I was thoroughly hooked. So yes, I did start this game in June, but I didn't complete it until July. The game centers around a familiar yet compelling premise: the journey to awaken crystals in order to restore balance to a world plagued by evil. You control a party of 4 characters in a classic turn-based format, and one of the highlights for me was the character dynamic. The dialogue and evolving friendships among the protagonists added some charm and humor throughout the entire journey. This dialogue really kept me interested in continuing to play all the way to the end. The interesting thing about Bravely Default is truly in its name, for multiple reasons. If you know, you know. But one thing I can mention without spoilers is the Brave and Default mechanic. You can brave and receive an extra attack during your turn, or you can default and essentially shield and also save your turn, giving you 2 turns next round. I'll let you figure out how it works if you pick up the game. Gameplay-wise, each character can be assigned a job, or class, to simplify it, which unlocks unique abilities and combat strategies. Without spoiling too much, these jobs can include a freelancer, mage, and even a knight. While the game encourages experimentation with different job combinations and grinding to unlock new abilities, I initially stuck with my original setup. It wasn't until I faced tougher enemies later in the game that I realized my mistake, so there I went, forcing myself to adapt and try new class setups. The first half of the game was especially engaging with a well-paced story. However, the second half became somewhat repetitive, which made it harder to stay motivated. That said, I believe that if you can make it to the end, it'll be worth it. The final boss encounter and closing story sequences are fairly memorable. Do I think the amount of time I spent in the second half of the game was entirely worth it? That's debatable, but I truly believe that final boss will stick with me for a long time, and so will the ending final cutscenes. In total, I spent about 50 hours with Bravely Default, and despite some pacing issues in the later portion, it left a very lasting impression on me. As the first game I completed in July, I give it a solid 8 out of 10. Highly recommend for fans of traditional JRPGs and strategic combat systems. The next game on the list is Dave the Diver, which released on June 28th, 2024, at least physically. So I received Dave the Diver as a birthday gift this past March, and I began playing it almost immediately. I took a few breaks, mostly to play Bravely Default, Final Fantasy VII, etc., and I ended up returning to Dave the Diver and completed it earlier in the month of July. As the title suggests, you play as Dave, who is a diver who splits his time between exploring the ocean and serving at a sushi restaurant. The gameplay is very simple: dive during the day and afternoon to catch some fish, then work as a server at the sushi bar during the nights. The fish you catch are used to create the restaurant's menu, allowing you to earn money, upgrade your gear, and repeat the cycle. What makes Dave the Diver interesting is its combination of laid-back resource gathering and fast-paced restaurant management. It also features a full story and a variety of side quests that help break up the core gameplay loop. Without giving away any spoilers, the game slowly introduces new mechanics and features as the story progresses, keeping you playing. In total, I spent about 26 hours with this game and give it a 7 out of 10. I would recommend this to anyone who enjoys cozy games. Next, we have My Sims Cozy Bundle. Now, I've only started the original My Sims. I haven't started My Sims Kingdom, so I've played My Sims Kingdom, Agents, and Racing on the Wii. I was super excited to finally dive into the original My Sims game, because this Cozy Bundle was something I was so stoked for when I heard that it was going to release on the Switch. My Sims is very much designed with cozy gamers in mind. The game places you in a town that needs some charm, and it's up to you, using your unique ability to collect essences to help rebuild it. Essences function essentially as crafting materials, and they're used to create furniture, decorations, and other objects. Your primary goal is to transform this town into a 5-star destination. This is achieved by inviting new residents, constructing their homes or businesses, and fulfilling their personal item requests using your own workshop. The gameplay is simple but satisfying. Collect, build, deliver, and gradually watch the town come back to life. It's a relaxing and low-pressure experience, perfect for a quiet, rainy day when you're in the mood for something stress-free and creatively engaging. That said, the game does show its age in some areas. One thing that I noticed the most is you can't really use the camera vertically. It's kind of just a stagnant viewpoint, and you can't really rotate it, so half the time I'm having to look at the map on where I'm supposed to go instead of just being able to look up and see the building that I'm essentially trying to get to. Not ranking the game until I finish it, but hopefully that's going to be pretty early in August, so it should be in the next episode. I'm genuinely enjoying my time with it so far, and I'm definitely looking forward to revisiting My Sims Kingdom after My Sims. Donkey Kong Bananza. Since its release on July 17th, Donkey Kong Bananza has taken up a lot of my time, and for good reason. While I've never completed a Donkey Kong title before, I genuinely believe this will be the first one I see to the end. Initially, I intended to stream my playthrough, but just after about 90 minutes of my first stream, I experienced some motion sickness. Lasted the rest of the day and left me feeling fairly nauseous, which was surprising since I don't typically experience motion sickness from games. The other game that I have experienced this was Kingdom Hearts, the very first Kingdom Hearts, and I honestly couldn't even play the game anymore. I had to stop. So with Donkey Kong Bananza, after doing some research, I found that I wasn't alone, and others have reported the same issue. Luckily, with adjusting the settings to reduce the camera shake, that made a huge difference, and I was able to really just play it. While I feel great enough to play the game in shorter sessions, it's still not something that I'm willing to stream because I don't want to play for a long session and get that feeling again, and then it kind of just messes up the whole rest of my day. So if you're sensitive to motion in games, I definitely recommend tweaking the settings or playing in moderation. Now for the gameplay. Let's just say it's simply fantastic. Bananza allows you to literally break through layers of the world, transitioning between different environments in a way that feels dynamic and satisfying. Each layer brings its own unique concept, from sandy beaches, desert ruins, to murky swamps, anything you can imagine, it's pretty much in the game. It's a clever approach to world building that keeps the experience fresh and engaging. Banana collecting returns, but with a new twist. Bananas now convert into skill points, which can be used to upgrade Donkey Kong's abilities such as punches, jumps, and special power-up forms. Without spoiling too much, these power-ups are fun to use and visually pretty impressive, and of course, the music that comes within the forms are pretty dang awesome. There's also a cosmetic aspect. Players can collect fossils and use them to purchase different shorts and ties for Donkey Kong, adding a bit of personality and charm to the customization options. With about 15 hours of playtime so far, I've been having a great time. The movement exploration and destruction mechanics all feel fluid and rewarding. If you're a fan of Super Mario Odyssey, I highly recommend giving this game a try. It brings a similar sense of playful discovery, but with that unmistakable Donkey Kong flair. Oh, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yes, it released February 29th of 2024. Yes, I picked it up on launch day. And yes, I started it on launch day. And no, I don't want to talk about how long it's taking me to finish it because honestly, I'm in no rush. Rebirth has been nothing short of phenomenal. Final Fantasy VII Remake is my favorite game of all time, and Rebirth is seriously giving it a competition for that top spot. What makes this entry so special, beyond the visuals and expansive world, are the character dynamics. The relationships and dialogue between party members are so well crafted that I find myself emotionally invested in even the smallest interactions. It adds a powerful layer of depth to the already iconic story. The open world design in Rebirth is impressive and rewarding, offering a huge amount of optional content, and I mean huge. I found myself happily completing every single side quest I encounter and uncovering every bit of additional content the game has to offer. Of course, this means my playtime is stretched significantly, and I realistically may not finish it until 2026, but that's okay, because I'm savoring every single moment. There's something truly magical about this game, and I'm in no hurry to see it end, especially because I kinda know what happens from the original game, and I'm not looking forward to any of that. I know there's another part of the trilogy still to come, but the time I've spent with Rebirth has been unforgettable. It's not just a sequel, it's an incredible game to longtime fans and a testament to how impactful a game can be when it gets its characters, world, and emotional beats just right. And yes, I own the original Final Fantasy VII on PS1. No, I haven't played it, but I'm glad to have it in my collection. I'm not going to rank this game just like Bananza and My Sims because I haven't beaten it. No, I'm definitely not going to beat this game in the month of August, but hopefully next year you'll see it in a gaming recap. This highlights the games I've spent time with throughout the month of July. I'd love to hear the titles you've been playing as well, whether you're making progress on a backlog or diving into something brand new that you just picked up. Let me know how your gaming month went and if your backlog is growing as quickly as mine. If you enjoyed the video, consider hitting a like down below and even hitting subscribe. Hopefully you guys have an awesome day, and I will definitely see you guys later. Goodbye!